Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Who would you rather be, Todd Rogers or Karl Jobst? What a choice. Oh, man. Good morning, Karl. This is your breakfast. Milk, milk, milk. Guys, I hope you take these videos in the way that I make them, right? This is just fun. This is what I think about when I'm sitting in the can, just scrolling through my phone, right? The reason I made this video is my wife was asking me, what are you thinking about? You're staring out into space. And I always answer my wife. And I said, I was thinking about who has a better life or who had the better life, Karl Jobst or Todd Rogers. Let's compare. Let's just think about it. Todd Rogers, first pro gamer, right? Karl Jobst lost 350,000 Australian dollars basically for lying about another man. Todd Rogers partied hard. Oh, he did. Karl Jobst, massive e-beggar, right? Used his audience as a credit card. Remember what he said? I had to start a GoFundMe. I had no other choice. You had another choice. You knew what the lawsuit was about. You could have just apologized. You could have just done the right thing, but you didn't. What you did is ask people for money. And admit, right, from the GoFundMe, what the hell was going on for real. Never updated, never did nothing. Man, and now your friends even are saying that you didn't tell them. Not that I believe them, by the way. But they're throwing them under the bus. Mudahar, what? I can see the defamation now. This is something brand new to me. What do you say? And the Moist Critical, well, I didn't really know what the case was about. Throwing them under the bus. Right? That's his claim to fame. Todd Rogers, real ladies' man. Right? You see him here. He's an older gentleman, right? And his biggest sin, he's Billy Mitchell's friend, right? But back in the day, Karl, you can't take this away from him. He was the first pro gamer. He was the first man where a video game company said, this guy does it so well that we're going to pay him. That didn't exist before then. You wish that you had Activision for a sponsor, Karl. You wish. Never in your life will that happen. Ever. Right? Because you lost. And no company's going to reach out to you. But that reminds me, guys, before I continue, let me play a word from our sponsor today.
Do you like a spicy kick to accompany the goislop you shovel into your mouth?
I do.
Then you should buy some of King Billy's amazing hot sauce. Ricky's world famous sauce. The best hot sauce in the world and personally approved by the greatest video gamer of all time is exactly what you need to spice up all your meals.
Thank you to our sponsor. Billy's out there on X wilding out. Anyway, guys, he was the first. No matter what Karl Jobst does, he's never going to accomplish a feat as great as that, no matter where he is in life. And let me tell you, Karl Jobst has berated this man all kinds of ways. Made fun of him for not having any money. Well, who's broke now, bitch? Who's broke now? Right? He called them all kinds of names here. Right? Scam artist. Cheater. Loser. All these words. Right? And of course it all started with Apollo. But look at this. A real ladies' man. Right? Not an incel. Right? Pretending to sell a program for online coaching on teaching guys how to, say hi and run away. No. That's Todd Rogers right there. And playmates are coming up to him to take pictures. Karl Jobst will never say that. Ever. Never had a youth like this. And let me tell you, back in the 80s, we partied. You kids today don't know how good you have it, at least here in California, because you can't get arrested for the things that we used to do. We used to get that ganja, and we were prosecuted, man. It had to be like really underground. You know what I'm saying? But we got crazy back in the day. And look at here. Legendary cheater. Over and over again, the poor man. But this right here, like if I was going to, right, and this is not legal advice of any kind, guys. We're just shooting the breeze here, right? But there's lines that this guy always crosses, and this is what gets him in trouble. He's just an idiot.
Todd really is. He lied constantly and confidently about Todd really is possible. These facts are well known and have been exhaustingly documented, but what many don't know is just how corrupt and
He just said corrupt. You know, you can say cheater, you can say, you know, whatever other adjective, but corrupt is a legal term, right? And I don't know that I would use that for a man that's been accused of what? Lying about video game scores? Is that your claim to fame? Right? And should it be you that's, you know, scrubbed the internet of all the crap that you used to say? Right? A big fan of letters that start with N? A historian of 1930s Germany? You really want to put that out there for him? You lost $350,000 for lying. You used your audience as a credit card, right? And allegedly, from your own boys, didn't tell them what the lawsuit was about when you were raising money. Hello? What do you call that? I'm not going to use those words because I'm not an idiot like you, Karl. You know, accusing people of crimes. This guy's judge and executioner, right, in the same video. Can you imagine? What would the irony be if Billy Mitchell just takes this guy's own money and says, you know what, Todd, here's 50 large. Go ahead and file a lawsuit again in Australia. Because all Todd Rogers has to do is really show this and prove that he wasn't able to get an opportunity of what have you, right, in order for this to stick. Because that's basically what Billy did. Billy had receipts. Billy said, I lost this opportunity because of what he wrote. I lost this opportunity. You only have to lose once. You only have to prove it once. Only have to prove it once. And look at how many millions of views these videos have. Right? So if he calls him that, and if he lost an opportunity, the judge is going to be like, you? Again? But realistically, what is Todd Rogers going to win? There's nothing left. Billy's taken everything, right? But in the grand scheme of things, you have a pro gamer versus a guy that lost $350K for lying in court, right? One guy parties hard. The other guy's a massive e-beggar. One of them is a real ladies' man, right? And the other one is what? A fake journalist? Jeez. You know, it's not a hard choice, right? It's not a hard choice. A real ladies' man versus an incel type fella that was trying to sell a program to say hi to girls and run away. Man, oh man. Who'd you rather be, right? An old Todd Rogers or a younger Karl Jobst? Let me tell you guys, if I had this kind of glory in my younger days, I'd definitely take Todd Rogers, right? Because nobody's going to ever take that away from you. No matter what they say about all the other records, you were the first pro gamer, right? And it sticks in this guy's craw, Karl Jobst. The hatred that he has for the old school is just crazy. And let me tell you, there's something that's really missing when it comes to this narrative, because the scene back then isn't what the scene is now. Absolutely different. And all these records and all that stuff, it's a whole separate video that I have to make. But let me tell you, it's a different world, and the people that were involved in it really can't talk about it, because if they would, it would cost them money, and I think it really should be a separate video. But at the end of the day, who'd you rather be? Do you want to be Karl Jobst getting milked, right? Or do you want to be Todd Rogers? At least you could say that you were the first ever pro gamer. Put some respect on that name, Karl Jobst. You will never, ever be at his level. All right, humans, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.